Hello Day with me, Shiko Kaitani. We trust that you enjoyed your weekend. We are so glad that you can join us today. Remember that SMS number is 22162. If you prefer to interact with us on our social media platforms, we are Y254 TV on Instagram, not to mention on Facebook, as well as Y254 channel on Twitter. A big thank you to my co-hosts Kalami Val and Hilda Wadibi for kicking off our Monday segment right here on Y in the Morning. For now though, on Hello Day, we continue to discuss current affairs, and today it's all about doing a check on tobacco control. Now, tobacco consumption amongst the youth is still on the rise, and with the recent ban on shisha, the tobacco control regulations that of course are also in place, we're actually doing a check and figuring out what are also the dangers that come with it, and of course understanding what these controls could even mean to the economy at large. So joining me today for our discussion on tobacco control, we would like to welcome Joel Gitali, who is the chair of Kenya Tobacco Control Agency. We also do have Thomas Linda, who is the Kenya Tobacco Control Agency coordinator. Asanteni sana for coming through.
Yeah, asante.
Okay, so let's start off by trying to understand what the mandate, by the way, of Kenya Tobacco Control Agency is all about, gentlemen. Maybe Chairman, you can start with that for us.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'll first correct something there. That we are the Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance, not agency. And we are a civil society organization.
Right.
So, you know, when you talk of agency, one might think that maybe we are a government body.
Okay, okay.
But we are a civil society organization. But we work very, very closely with the government, and especially the Minister of Health.
Okay.
We are able together with the Kenya Tobacco Control Board, which is an organ of the Minister of Health.
Yes.
So you are right, because many things that we do them as if we are a government agency, but we are actually a civil society organization.
Okay. So how do we differentiate between what you do, if there's a relationship or a difference between you and NACADA, for example?
NACADA is a government organ. That one is a statutory body that looks into all issues to do with the drug abuse, alcoholism, and all that. Tobacco is one of the things that NACADA is supposed to be looking at, but as a government institution. But then, because we have the Tobacco Control Board, NACADA has concentrated on the others and left tobacco to the board.
Oh,
and also to people like us. Although that is erroneous, because it is funded to handle all this. So when it leaves part of it and the board is not even funded, we end up having a problem. Okay.
Mr. Thomas Lindy, Karibu. Okay, we're going to ask you to use the microphone.
Yes.
Tell us about the situation assessment in terms of consumption of substance amongst the youth, you know, from, of course, your work on the ground and statistics, if you do have any.
Yeah, I could say that tobacco use specifically has been on the rise in the country, and that one is due to the many factors that we are going to share in this program.
Right.
You'll find that there is a lot of deception out there about tobacco products and their effects. And we find that in the country there has been that misunderstanding about some of the tobacco products. Like for example, when you talk about shisha, this is something that has been debatable. Many young people don't see it as something that is harmful to your health or to their health. But on the other hand, when you go to the health experts, Ministry of Health and so on and so forth, NACADA included, they actually reckon that these are dangerous products.
Right.
So within the country, we have 11% of the youth being involved in tobacco use and tobacco products. And among that, the number of girls is so high.
Really?
To boys and the rest.
So females are consuming more tobacco than?
Females are consuming more tobacco than men.
Interesting.
That's the sorry state that we have in our country.
Yeah. Okay. Chair, you know, records on smoking in Kenya are nearly non-existent. That's what they say. And in a recent interview, you actually stated that it's due to lack of funds to carry out this kind of research. Do you feel that the government is actually taking advocacy seriously when it comes to tobacco control?
Yeah, before I address that, I think he meant to say that more women are giving into the consumption of shisha.
Yes, that it seems to be more of a feminine thing. Yeah,
not really tobacco.
Yeah.
Tobacco overall, men are smoke more than rather they consume tobacco products more than women. So just a correction, so that we don't give that picture that more women than men use tobacco products. It is actually men who use it more, who use tobacco products more than women. But then when it comes now to this thing, shisha is where we are seeing more girls than boys getting into, because you know girls associate it with beauty.
Yes, it's a very elegant kind of practice. You know, it just goes so well.
Yeah, so
and you definitely look more feminine than you doing this, right?
That is it. Yeah.
Okay,
so that's why more girls than boys go into it, and then you'll find that. A boy might invite a girl for a shisha outing,
yes,
and then the girl will come with friends.
Yes,
but then the reverse is not true.
Yes,
you will not find a boy coming with the friends, but a girl will come with the friends. So when a boy is able to treat more girls to shisha, then a girl is able to treat boys to shisha.
Absolutely,
and
okay.
Yeah, so that brings more girls into it, and then we have the flavors and all that. And I've met many who say that they don't actually know that shisha is tobacco.
Really?
Yeah, they're not aware.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Even going on to your research.
Yeah, whatever I was saying, it's about deception.
Yeah.
You see, shisha products are flavored.
Yes.
To the point that when you are smoking it, you don't realize that you are smoking tobacco or tobacco product, because of the scent, which is very smooth on the throat,
and the molasses,
and also the breath, which is, it doesn't have that bad breath like cigarettes and so on.
Ooh, cigarette.
So you'll find more young girls preferring to use that. And it also looks like a trend, you know, young men and women, they want to be trending everywhere. So if you find that you are, due to peer pressure, your friends, your peers, they are using the same product, you'll end up using the same product.
That's
because
true.
of the pressure that's associated with such products.
Okay. So I think you are going to go back to the whole point about whether or not the government is really doing a lot in terms of helping with the research and, you know, spreading the word out there about tobacco danger.
Yeah, I should say that the government is doing much, especially the Minister of Health. Yeah, there is a lot of information, and when you go outside there, then you come back and say that in Kenya we have really made progress. And I want really to salute the Minister of Health, and especially the NCD section, and then the Tobacco Control Board. They have done a lot, and there is a lot of information here in Kenya. We have very good policies. Where we have a problem is implementation of the same.
Right.
The policies are so wonderful, but now when it comes to implementation, for example, there is shisha ban, which was a very good step by the cabinet secretary. But you come down here, you'll find it is as if there is nothing. People are smoking, people are enjoying themselves.
I actually did want to bring that up. I really did want to bring that up, because when we talk about, even with what High Court Judge Mumbi Ngugi said about throwing out the appeal by BAT and what have you, all these bans that have come into place, the accessibility, you know, the affordability, it's still there.
Okay, with the shisha, what we have noticed is that it has just become more expensive to get it, because once you go to a joint where it is sold, you'll be told that this is an illegal product, so you have to pay more to get it. Then they'll have these bathrooms and so on and so forth places, whereby you pay more now. It has become more expensive. But we are still calling upon the government, because this is their role, to enforce the laws that are there. They should not be or relax on the enforcement that started, because immediately there was the ban.
Yes.
We saw them swinging into action. Bars and restaurants being
storming them.
Then after that, everything goes cold. As if nothing really happened. So it's maybe the culture of corruption is also into us, to the point that some of these people who operate these bars and restaurants maybe went to some of the enforcement agency and told them that we let us do this, because we'll give you something or a kickback in exchange.
Chairman, what do you think about that? How corruption has actually leaked into the implementation of tobacco control?
Yeah, we remember one time we went to Migori County and we were talking to the deputy governor, who told us that it's good the Tobacco Control Act is there, but this thing is just going to make people richer. Because those who are involved in corruption, the officers that are supposed to enforce the law, will just demand for more. So it gives them the ground to ask for more. Now, we were also talking to a senior person here in Nairobi, who was telling us that the more we talk about the law, the more we want it implemented, the richer the enforcement officers become.
Wow.
Because they now use that, even when it is on the paper that this has been said. They go and say, have you heard what has been said?
Yes.
Leo sichukui shilingi 100. The problem persists. And that's why you will find the law is not being implemented. People are selling cigarettes in single sticks, which is illegal. They are selling to minors. They are smoking in public places because of impunity.
I have seen pictures, Chairman, where someone is actually smoking beneath a fine. A notice that actually says fine up to this and this and this and this for smoking outside a designated area. And still nothing does happen. And that's just me, but I'm assuming there are many cases like that.
There are many cases like that, and we say that this culture that we have, we need a change of mind. Because even when the law came into effect or into force, senior government officials were against it, and that one is even on record, that some of our senior politicians in the country did not want this ban to take place, because it will affect one or two sectors of the economy, and we think that that is very wrong for a government which is not talking to itself, because it shows that there is a lot of differences in the way we do our things.
Okay, and even when it comes to the fine, you know, we've heard that, by the way, there's a 50,000 Kenya shilling fine or imprisonment exceeding 6 months or less, you know, thereabout. Especially when it comes to the youth. Do you feel that that's simply a bit too much? It's being extreme.
When it comes to the law, and especially when the law is punitive, then you don't have to talk about the age, because the law is for those who offend. So if the youth don't want to suffer, then they just not commit offenses. So it is not too much. You don't have to have that law that will make people comfortable. The law should make people uncomfortable, and it is supposed to be deterrent, a deterrent measure. So the youth are supposed just to know that the law is in place. It's unfortunate that this law cannot be effectively effected in places like universities. You know, these are places which are like almost no-go zones for security officers. If they are spotted there by students, it becomes war. So students there do whatever they want. Even when we talk about the ban, you'll find they're smoking shisha in their hostels. That's going on. They're smoking cigarettes. And you know the way, like the universities, some of the hostels, you know, they are demarcated using maybe soft or hardwood. And this tobacco smoke can penetrate and go the other side. So you find almost the entire hostel smoking when shisha is being smoked in one room because of the volume of smoke. So this is something that we are trying to work on and telling universities, can you help us effect changes that will bring sanity in the universities so that tobacco control is also something that will benefit every Kenyan wherever we are.
Okay. I was actually reading more about, of course, tobacco control, and I came across the Tobacco Control Fund.
Yes, you're right.
And apparently 2% of the value of tobacco from companies, tobacco companies, is actually supposed to be going to this fund to support anti-smoking activities and subsidize treatment for those who are suffering from tobacco-related diseases. Is the fund, would you know if it's already been rolled out and what's being done on the ground, courtesy of this fund?
Maybe to comment on that, I'll say that those are some of the things that have been challenged in court by those who sell this product. And we think that despite challenging what the law talks about the fund, which should maybe mitigate the negative health effect of tobacco, we still think that the tobacco sellers should be responsible. And being responsible does not only talk to, come or talk about the fund that they should contribute, but also on the way they target young men and children, because that's unfair to the society. If you can be able to target small children with your product, people who have not reached the age of adulthood, that's very much unfair. But we, as the civil society organization, we support that. We want the fund to be there. We want it to mitigate the negative effects. You see, the tobacco industry has been in the country for many years, and through the many years we have seen so many diseases coming up that were not there. Like right now, when you go to Kenyatta, there is a rise in the cases of cancer and such diseases. So we want this fund to be used to take care of some of these negative effects of the tobacco product.
Just to maybe to add on to what you have said, you know, the fund is wider, and it does not only receive, is not just supposed to receive funds from the tobacco products, the 2%. That 2% is just a section. And it's what the industry is actually protesting
against, because it's quite high.
You say 2%, why this is discriminative, but they fail to know that even we are paying fuel levy or other, there are other levies, tourism. So that's just one part of it. The fund is actually being rolled out by the ministry. There is a roadmap, or rather a roadmap. It is going to be actualized, and it will be receiving funds from all over. Sometimes some of these goods could be confiscated, or we could have donors bringing in funds. We could approach people like the Gates Foundation for funds. All these funds will come to that kitty. So what the industry is actually against is the 2%, not the fund itself as such, because it has no authority. It has got nothing to do with the fund, except the 2%, which they could have protested against whether there was the fund or not. So we are saying that this must be done. 2% is a very small amount from the industry that is making abnormal profits as it sells death to Kenyans. So
what an interesting way to put it.
So because you know, by the way, when we talk about the tobacco, we are talking about death, diseases, disabilities, and poverty. Those are the things that define tobacco, and they are the things we are saying no to. So when they give us something small, because according to economics, the experts say that out of whatever the tobacco industry gives us, in fact we use more. Like for every 1 shilling that the government gets from tobacco, the government uses 3 shillings to mitigate the effects of tobacco.
Oh, okay. So hence the poverty comes in. Because I'm even wondering, okay, how does poverty come in, considering how it's been such a thriving, booming business, of course, until, you know, the controls came in.
There is so much poverty in tobacco.
It hurts the economy. It hurts the farmers. Now, when we talk about poverty, we even now look at the farmer.
Yes. What about the tobacco farmers?
Yeah,
I've been in Western Kenya, and they've been acres and acres of tobacco.
And when you look at those who grow tobacco, they are the poor of the poor. These are the fellows who are very poor. You look at them, if you want to know where poverty is, go to where tobacco is grown. You want to see how one can be macheted, where we have food insecurity. Where we have child labor, then go to where tobacco is grown. Farmers are always working, and you know, they never know how much they put in terms of labor. It is labor intensive. But because they are using the family, and you see, they don't actually come to realize how much they are putting in. They don't know how much that land could have brought to them had they grown something else. You know, so that's why there is a lot of poverty in those areas. And then the tobacco companies make mega profits.
And then even look at now in the case of let's say the clubs, nightclubs. You did see immediately when the shisha ban came into play, there was cries out there saying, okay, you know what, this has really killed business of us, because remember, the more shisha they sell, the more attendance they need. People were actually out of work. So what do you suggest needs to be done in such a situation? Because people don't have jobs, and these are the same young people who are actually working as shisha attendants in really popular clubs in Nairobi.
I think there is a lot that the youth can do. We can't say that because there is a ban on shisha use, so there are no jobs in the country. The county is very dirty. We need a lot of manpower to make it clean. Look at the clarion call by our governor. There is a lot of work that we need to do. And talking about the definition of poverty, and as my chairman says, when you go to the tobacco growing areas, that's when you'll see what poverty is. And you see, this product has no nutrition value at all. Anybody who is consuming cigarettes, tobacco product, there is nothing you are adding in your body. No single thing. It's just disease that you are adding to your body. Disability, and as we say, and a lot of death, which is associated with the tobacco product. And so many diseases, thousands and thousands of diseases that are associated with the tobacco consumption. So these are a product that does not add anything.
When you talk about loss of jobs and all that, you know, then you look at our youth. I've seen very beautiful girls in KBC.
Oh, well, thank you.
Very beautiful boys, very handsome boys.
To all those of you who didn't know.
And then I say, if we can subject all these fellows to impotence, because of cigarettes and shisha, we subjected them to cancer, we subjected them to hypertension, all manner of diseases, early death. You know, when you look at fellows who use shisha and cigarettes, even their skin, you just start becoming somebody. You look like an old man of 90 when you are 20. Are we doing any justice to the youth? These are the fellows we are protecting by banning shisha. So it's not that we want, and you know, everything has a cost. So if some can be laid off, but then to save
the greater good.
So that we have people who will take care of their families. You don't marry somebody's daughter and then you are there not acting as a husband because you have filled yourself with tobacco and the body cannot function. So those are the things we are saying. The youth should be set free from this kind of thing, and we want healthy people, because we say a healthy nation is a wealthy nation.
It's true. You're killing me, Chairman.
I like it. Talk to any of these rich men and women out there, those who have reached the apex of wealth. They are not concerned about money anymore. They are talking about health.
Okay.
You'll find them very rich men and women exercising every day, trying to take care of their body. And you see, we say also tobacco, it will prevent our youth from doing exercises.
Yes.
Because once it gets into your system, you become weak. You can't even exercise. You can't become like the bodybuilders that we have around.
Okay.
Those are very harmful products that cannot. And you see, there are some products. And we think that this was a deliberate effort by the tobacco industry to hook our young men and women. They even called some of their cigarettes, they call it sportsman. What do you think is the picture that they are creating to the young men and women? It shows that when you smoke this, you become a sportish guy. You can actually play football and do such things. Our
audience is getting very happy here in studio.
So that is the impression that they tried to create in our mind. When you smoke this sportsman, you can be able to run like Tergat or so, which is very wrong. You can't do that.
Okay, all right. Real quick, because I know my director is about to tell me we're running out of time. But Chairman, let me ask you real quick. Were you actually against the imposition of high taxes on tobacco imports?
We are against?
Were you against the high taxes on tobacco imports?
No. We are saying that tobacco products should be taxed heavily. Tobacco products should be taxed heavily, whether they are imports or locally manufactured. Because, you know, in tobacco control, we talk about the demand reduction measures and supply reduction measures. So when we want to reduce supply, then we must try to work on farmers to ensure that the farmers don't produce, they quit farming tobacco. And when it comes, also even when we impose high taxes on imports, then we bar those that could have come into the country to some extent. But then these taxes, whether on imports or locally produced goods, are supposed to make prices higher so as to make those who cannot afford actually to keep off. That's a very important thing, especially the minors. And
so
it is even dangerous that this time we are talking about revenue collection on tobacco products having gone down. And there are those who are starting to say it is because of illicit trade that our products are expensive, and therefore we are supposed to reduce the prices so as to make them compete with those that are from out to curb illicit trade. We are saying no. The government should play its role of sealing all holes so that we don't have illicit trade going on. As it does that, it must raise taxes even on the locally produced tobacco products to 70% as recommended by WHO. So tobacco should be highly taxed. The prices should be very high. That's what we want to happen.
All right, last two questions for you, gentlemen. And maybe you can take this one, Thomas. You know, veteran journalist, and this is just an FYI, Gumbau Kithi actually died from tobacco-related disease, and he was actually a documented victim of cigarette smoking. And, you know, having just thought about the treatment and, you know, what it took him going from hospital to hospital, it got me thinking about treatment in this country from those who are suffering from tobacco-related diseases. We've seen in maternal care, Linda Mama being rolled out, for example, by the government. What do you think in terms of schemes need to be created for individuals who are, you know, who are suffering from this?
I would say addicts, most of the addicts like tobacco addicts and the rest, they have been a neglected lot in this country. And we are calling upon the government to remember these people, because it's not their wish. You remember sometime in Mombasa there was this case of a lot of drug use, and you see the drugs are related. You'll find that someone who uses miraa, who uses alcohol, it's more likely for that person to be smoking cigarettes, and it's more likely for this person to be using bang at the back street somewhere.
So one thing is a gateway to others.
It's a gateway. There is a chain link between some of these drugs. And we are calling upon the government and to come up and remember these people. We need cessation products to be established. Like right now, what we have are only private cessation or practitioners who are offering these cessation products.
Yeah.
But it's upon the government maybe to remember these people, establish centers whereby these people can be rehabilitated. And you know, nicotine is so addictive. Sometime last year, we had an exhibition here in town at the archives. And most of the people who visited our stand to inquire about what we are doing, most of them were desperate, telling us that I have tried this and this to stop smoking, but it has become so hard. Yeah. And you also remember the President of America, the former President of America, Mr. Obama, also had a problem with smoking. But we are talking about the resolve. Yes. If you have the resolve to quit, I think you can be able to overcome the addiction. But also the centers, we need them to be established so that our people can be helped to unchain themselves from these very bad habits.
Okay. Well, you know, just as we wrap up, you know, sociologists actually say that, by the way, children actually develop habits or pick up habits from the environments they're exposed to. What is the role of the parent here? To the parents who smoke or drink or do whatever it is in front of their children, can you tell us what you think about that in terms of the parents' role in tobacco control or even drugs?
You know, as you say, children learn more from what they see than what they hear. So they will always look at their parents, their seniors, as role models, and feel that if you are to be a good father, then you must be a smoker, you must be an alcoholic. Those kind of things, they pick them up from the parents. Yes. So parents should always know that whatever they are doing will affect the children. And therefore, even those who are addicted, we can have that the negative kind of or reverse kind of counseling, whereby I've seen some parents actually telling their children not to be like them. You know, they keep showing them that my son or my daughter, you know, I'm not enjoying this. Yes. Don't ever try. I started and I'm unable to live and I'm suffering. Yeah. They should be bold enough to say that. Yes. So we should all know that those behind us, even if you are a teacher, maybe you are a very good teacher, the better you do in class, the more the learners will want to emulate you. Yeah. So if you are a smoker, the learners will feel that to be as good as this man, I'm supposed to smoke. Right. So it's important for adults to know that they have a very serious influence on the young people, and therefore to help them, they must do these things either away from them. That's why we even say those that sell cigarettes should do it from very far. And even if you are a parent and you are telling your children not to smoke and you are selling cigarettes, they keep looking at you and asking, na mami, why kwa nini unauzia watu? That's true, it's another challenge. Why are you talking against what you are doing? You are selling it to people and even taking sadaka to church after murdering people. So those are the kind of things we must actually know.
Wow! Oh my God, Chairman, thank you so much. I think, gentlemen, we have to wrap it up there. But I have to say thank you so much. I think we've had such an interesting discussion today. Thank you for coming through, and I hope that we can actually continue this discussion forward. Chairman, your choice of words today, I think, has just brought some life to this discussion, talking about impotence, and now the young people have to go and start looking for nguvu za kiume, you know. And we're saying don't do it because that's what's gonna happen.
Guys are seriously out there trying to purchase the nguvus.
Nguvus za kiume. I really wanted those people actually make money. Those people who advertise in the newspaper.
Others suddenly get saved and they want the pastors to undo what tobacco has done to them.
Look at the these guys are always advertising. Who consumes them? Our young men and women. Because
serious.
But I sure hope that you have enjoyed our discussion today on tobacco control. We want to say a big thank you to Joel Gitali, who is the chairman of Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance, as well as the coordinator of Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance, Thomas Lindy. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can catch a rerun of this at exactly 2 p.m. And of course, check out our YouTube channel for this particular interview on Y254. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.